Hey guys, what's up? PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look at Ethereum over here. Something I wanted to point out is that when we take a fib from the 2022 low up to the 2024 high, we did perfectly come down and tag the 70.2% fib. And if you take a look at the fibs on the linear scale, we did come down to the 786. The reason this is so important is because the 702 and the 786 retracement act as big inflection points within the market, more specifically in the crypto space. Now, if we can get a move back above 2132 or even rally back to it, we can consider that this flush was sufficient enough to say that this is just our manipulation before we enter into expansion or distribution to the upside. In the power of three setup, there's three phases, right? You have your accumulation, you have an established high and established low. So this is your psychological high, this is your psychological low. As you guys can see, we've just been ranging within here, going all the way back to 2024 of March. And then you have manipulation down below the established range. So your accumulation, which is your first phase, your second phase, which is your manipulation. And then once you get back above this line here at 2130, then we can say, oh, okay, we're going for our distribution to the upside, which is the third phase in the power of three setup. So the targets that we would be targeting, the targets that we would be looking at upon break of 2132 would be these levels right here on the linear scale. So we'd be taking a look at the 1.618, 1.786. Okay, 1.618, 1.786, 1.236, and 1.382. And then we can uncheck all of the fibs that are irrelevant to what I'm trying to show you guys. And yeah, these are all the targets here. Okay, so I just want to see a move back above this level here at 2130, 2148, so we can say for sure that this was just our manipulation down below the established range. And you can see, like I was showing you guys at the beginning of the video, our draw on liquidity was the 786 or the 702 on the logarithmic scale. Okay. Something that I also noticed that I want to make you guys aware of is when we take a look at ETH Dominance, right? Take a look at ETH Dominance here. You guys can see that we're back to the 2020 lows before ETH Dominance did over 200% to the upside. So this over here was the 2020 lows on ETH Dominance before we did over 205% up to this supply. You see how this over here was your supply zone back in 2018? We used it, we topped out here at the same level, right? Then we formed a distribution structure, and then we broke down, and now we're back to this support. So there is a very big possibility that ETH has bottomed out, considering the ETH USD pair has come down to the 702 and the 786. And ETH Dominance has also come down to the 2020 lows before we did over 200%. So I would be expecting a move back up to at least the 50% fib over here at 14.42%. And get above the 50% fib, then we'd be taking a look at the supply zone that we've used so many times in the past. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys is that when we take a look at ETH on the monthly time frame, we can see here that we have formed a little bit of a bullish pin bar. Taking a look here at the weekly time frame, you have a nice bottoming structure. Okay, this is your bottoming structure right here, where you have your death candle. This is your death candle, and then the week after that we pierce the lows. You see how you pierce the lows, and then you end up closing at the previous week's close. You form a doji the next week, and then a bullish engulfing the week after. Last week was a doji, so either we see a breakdown towards the retracements over here, towards these retracements, and then continue up from there, or we see continuation higher, like that. Okay, so this weekly closes in about 6 days and 10 hours, so we'll see how it plays out. We'll continue to monitor everything, but so far, ETH looks really good. I think it has bottomed out. Let's take a look at here at the RSI, and you can see the weekly RSI has come down to the lower bounds of this region right here, of this level. So you see every time the weekly RSI comes down to around this region, we end up bottoming out. You guys can see here, right here, right here, right over here, we end up bottoming out, and we see this same thing right now. You see how it's come down? So there's a big possibility that ETH is bottomed out. Let's take a look here at the stock RSI, and you can see that the stock RSI on the weekly time frame is curling up from the lows. Taking a look here at the 2-week time frame, you can see that it's right at the lows there. So there's still a lot of upside to go for ETH. Sorry, there's a lot of upside to be seen for ETH. And yeah, it is looking pretty bullish. We would want to take a look at the momentum indicator here. And we are above it on the daily time frame. Taking a look at the 3-day, yeah, we're above it right now. So looks pretty good. We would want to be taking a look towards Bitcoin here going forward. Remember what I said in my Bitcoin video. Either we see a breakdown below 92,500, which would trigger a further push down to the lower retracements, or we hold this level and continue on higher towards 100 to 104,000, considering we have hidden bullish divergence on the daily time frame. See the daily time frame? Where you have a lower low on the RSI, but a higher low on the price. Okay, so I want to see this level hold right here, so we can confirm that move up. But it will be a very interesting week of price action, so I'll make sure to keep you guys posted. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And if you love the content, then click the link in the description below to join the Discord, where you can access over 350 charts. You can ask me any question you want and connect with me one-on-one. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.